Boys, we're mixing things up today. This is going to be a different kind of a video, and I'm going to, while we're live, reseal this other light so that my mans can have both of these. But I get asked all the time, how the heck do you reseal lights? How do you do it? So that's what we're gonna do. Now this is gonna be kind of a little bit of a cheater way because, believe it or not, these GTR taillights are sealed the same way as the typical headlight. So it's gonna be a lot easier, but we are going to use butyl. So I've got some of that right here. I'm gonna put it all through the channel. Everything else has been hooked up here on the bench. And so we will have these lights go into these buckets and it should be cool. DJ Boom, this is a little sneak peek of what's to come your way, my friend. So I'm gonna be up, moving back and forth to get to the oven and all of that. If anything sounds off, I'm going to rely on you, chat, my friends, to let me know, because I'm not gonna hear it, because I'm probably not gonna have these earphones on for very much of the stream. Spectrum Retrofit, what's up? DJ Boom says, oh, like, oh, wait. James Brian McNatt in the house. Hunter K. Josh Hussey. You damn hussy. It's a dope name. Who else we got? John Paul Whitehead. We got Adam Board. Who else in the house? VIP Sing. What up? Just subscribed yesterday, I think. And we've got Big Al holding it down for the Lightsman community. Very cool. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to be working on is taking these parts and then just running them through this channel. And wow, that was a scary background pump. And then all of these things are going to go in the oven. And while we sit and chat, I'll have a timer going on. This is going to get cooked by itself. So this is something I've picked up along the way. When you work with certain types of lenses, like the ones that we're looking at right here, these guys can get a little bit too heated, right? And we don't want that. We don't want to have any warping or any weird stuff go down. So instead of heating up the whole light in the oven, what I'm going to do, and I suggest this on certain types of headlights as well, especially the type that the lenses get messed up by heat, we're just going to stick the bucket itself, the main thing in there, with the sealant already put into place, which I'm going to do right now. And then that's going to heat up. It's going to get nice and soft, and it's going to be ready for the lens to go on. So when I pop them out of the oven, stick them right here on the bench, and I go to seal everything, that sealant is going to be nice and hot, and it's going to grab onto that lens. It's going to seal the channel. Everything's going to be spot on, and we won't have actually put the lens in the oven at all. Should be cool. Scott Lee, what's up? What's going on, my man? I just finished up a set of paint match tails for my F250. First set of custom tails. That's dope, man. It's not an easy. That's not an easy starting point. So good for you. Who else we got? Dan Reese. Whoop whoop, bish. Let me cough. Wow, that was a not fun noise I just made. And Mike West in the house. What's up? Sinister, you could always lurk, my man. I'm just happy to know your ears are somewhere attached to this little noisemaker. Good stuff. Okay, well, with that, let us make use of this GoPro, which gets very little action. Very little action on the channel. Now, if you don't know about retro rubber, there are multiple. This is just rubber butyl. It's a rope. I have a machine that pumps this stuff out. Only difference is that this stuff right here is gray. And if we look in the channel here, that is gray as well. Ooh, you guys can't tell, but I've got a big giant soft box light right up there now, which is pumping light onto my work area. So I'm hoping it's gonna make it a lot easier for you guys to see when I use the GoPro. That's the plan. So we're just gonna hang out today. These are going to our channel supporter Slush HD. My dude has had his beautiful GTR waiting for a very long time to start the process. He's just been a huge supporter, big he's been a big source of encouragement for me, because a lot of this stuff, especially making these videos, man, especially doing the stream, it's not a thing that has any sort of like immediate reward or payback. So more than anything, it's just kind of creating a cool place to hang out and then getting to have all of you guys hang out, which makes it fun, makes it feel like I have coworkers. The whole entrepreneur land is a lonely place, and so getting to stream and do all that with you guys has been great. And Richard Slush HD has been a big part in helping me kind of set things up. So I am so pumped to see some lights on his car. Lots of other ones coming. I'm turning down like every job right now, with the exception of like a handful that I absolutely need to. Does butyl taste good? I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. A great thing to prevent butyl to stick to your fingers: spit. You know? Good old-fashioned spit. So I'm just running this whole thing around. I'm putting as much effort as I can to get it to stick to the sidewall so that it doesn't just sink right down into the channel here. And I'll show you that up close right now. Here's some spit. Alright. The idea is that when I push down on this lens, I don't want all of this butyl to just get completely shoved down to the bottom. I do want it to fan to the side, inside and out. And so it's not just about getting it in there, it's about getting it in there right. Getting it in there right. And I've gone pretty far. I'd say this roll of butyl, just one box, at least like, I want to say it's done at least like 4 sets of lights. Not all big ones, like this is kind of a bigger one. I've done some side markers and stuff like that, but you know. Whoa, DJ Boom, talking about being excited, I think. You silly man. All right, so here we go. We got it done. Now, I am going to keep this tiny little bit. I can still use that for a set of side markers or something. Here's all the shielding that I used and tossed. And these need to go in the oven. So I'm gonna let them heat up for about 5 minutes total. Too bad I don't have one of these that's a 5-minute thing. That'd be dope. There's my 30-minute marker. So we're gonna work on these. I'll at least have some idea of where I'm at. I'll probably blast them with air right before I put them in, just since these were sitting here to allow me to kind of work on something. We're gonna do a couple tests before those go inside of here. And then the last step is just gonna be making sure that I've got everything dialed so that I can seal up the back cap on these. That's probably not gonna be on the stream, but we'll be working together. Let me throw these in. Right, hey Siri. Set timer for 5 minutes.
Your timer is set for 5 minutes.
All right. So with that, we're gonna do other cool things while we wait, including me reading some chat. So all of this stuff will be loaded up onto Sequential Squad as well. All these files. I've got Tim's file on that one right now. We could show that really quick. That's got a couple different files. Now, I'm sure when he made this, some of these things he didn't really know were gonna look the way that they do, because that light really fans out well when the lights are not actually on. So here we got our, what's that, brake light? I think so. So that's our parking light, brake light, Pretty cool. Instant on. It doesn't do an animation. If we wait for, I think it's got a 2-second timeout, it'll do the cool little flashy pants. So we're gonna play with this a little bit more. And we got show mode 1. And then show mode 2. Or vice versa. It's one of those. Whoa. See the wall shake? Somebody just shut the front door. Shut the front door! Alright, let's do cool stuff. So, one thing I've been working on a bunch lately is when I have these ghost modules and they've got wires everywhere, something that's really cleaned that up and it's made them easy to integrate so that I can test them, is I just put a little part on there from my XK Glow setup. You grab that. Sean Paymer, hope all your businesses are safe. I hope everybody's businesses are safe for sure. It's crazy out there, right? We are nice and far from any of the, I don't know, anything big deal action happening. We kind of live in a little town in Southern California, so it's not quite as riled up out here. We had a peaceful protest yesterday, which luckily did its job. You know, people did their thing and marched through the town, and it didn't get crazy, and they got to kind of put out the message, which I absolutely respect. People being able to have a stance and not kind of take the bait to go crazy. It's like fighting with your wife. You're getting in a fight with your wife, and you know there's bait. All you have to do is screw up and say the wrong thing, and now everything that she did wrong is now your fault. Oof. That's how they win, just so you know. Don't take the bait. Guy wants you to punch him really, really bad. Don't punch him. He's just waiting for it. Okay, back to lights. Oh, good stuff. All right, I'm gonna put this this little connector here. It's that guy. I'm gonna put all of my running light stuff, then my brake lights, then my show modes. Donald Wheeler, what up? Adam Board says, it's a trap! God, I love Star Wars so much, and there's so much pop culture reference to Star Wars and so many silly things now. I'm so glad I'm a nerd. It just worked out. It's a trap! I remember I did one season ever in my life of football, and I was a 5-foot freshman, high school, and it was spring training, so it was just after the freshman year. And like I was a little wolf in high school, so went to a tiny little high school the first 2 years, and half the guys on the football team, like I don't know, goofed around with their sisters and stuff, and they hated my guts. It was good years. And I remember Star Wars was coming out, episode 1 prequel. Whoa. And I remember that when I went to go stand in that big long line before the movie came out, I had to leave spring training football, big deal. And I remember my coach asked me, you're gonna have to make a decision right now. What's more important to you, Star Wars or football? I was like, bro, Star Wars. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go wait in line with a bunch of nerds. Absolutely best decision ever. As things would have it, I think culture has chosen which one of those has more relevance in the day-to-day. Especially with my kind of creator path, right? Right? Okay. Did we do it? Are we set up? Because my alarm went off. Boom, buddy. Alright. One more thing I want to do. I want to load Mr. Tim's file here. Load it. And he's got, let's see, this one. Let me hop over here. It's you guys. go. Programming. It's communicating. And moment of truth. Does it do things? Hey, that's nice. Parking light, brake light, show mode, dancey dance. That's pretty dope. Tim, he was on that wigwag game way before I ever said anything about it. Wow, what a gangster. James Brian McNatt said, damn, thought you were my age. How old are you, James? Let me know, sir. I'll burst that bubble wide open. I'm so excited about this because he's a boomer, because you've got the outside stuff doing cool things, and then the inside one doing cool things. Oh, so good. I'm so excited about this. Yeah, I was born in 1984. I don't subscribe to that whole you gotta you're at least 48. No, episode 1, bro, not episode 4. Gotta know your nerd stuff. I'm 36, my dudes. All right, here we go. Let's hop in. Oh, I don't know if you guys were talking to each other, but yeah, so I am a wee bit younger, it looks like, than a few of you. Okay, I'm going to separate this. I know that all of my LEDs are doing what they should be. I've got one last test. Let's see. Gotta go ground. Pew, 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 pew. Sure, I got all my LEDs. They look good. Oh, they look so good. I love these parts. We're gonna have a talk about making custom panels soon. Yeah, buddy. All right, disconnect these from the system. Check this out. It's connected to Ghost right now by like all the bonus modes. Done. Totally disconnected now. Stoked on that. So definitely makes it nicer to have all of this stuff right here. I mean, we still have our turn signal mode, power and ground that way. And this I'm actually going to run to a relay, but just for the sake of testing, having brake light, running light, show mode 1 and 2 on this little guy right there, God, it makes things so much better. Okay, let me blast this thing with air really quick. I just had a realization. Okay, I gotta put some gloves on because these things are hot, hot and hot and hot. And then we're gonna make sure that I've got all the other screws that I need. So for right now, the main thing that I want to check before I do this next part is how's our butyl looking? As you can tell right here, I've got like a little dip. Just want to make sure that that thing's going to be hugging the wall the whole way. I think I'm pretty much good. space right here that I would like to see hanging on a little bit more. Cool. Just don't want it to get shoved into just one side. Now, I wish all taillights were this way, but we know they are not. It's just a GTR thing. So having this little XK chrome connection on it too definitely helps out right now. I wish I could see other people live stream doing custom work. It'd be interesting. This can get hard because it wants to grab on in multiple different areas. And I know that this thing wants to seat in these little recesses right there. And so if I see that it's not, that there's something keeping it pushed up, I have to make sure that I find that and fix it, because it's not a game of force. It's 100% based on things going where they're supposed to go. Should be good with my gloves. Put some of these little padded screws. Now these go from the outside in to the bezel, and then there's other screws that hold on the lens. So you don't want to go too ham with these. It's just to kind of give a base to keep this internal part here from not getting effed up. There's 5 of these guys. Ooh, I saw something. I'm just gonna ask you guys flat out. What do you think about the idea of saying that because you did something, you had this idea, you had this style or whatever, and you put it out there and it gets a bunch of attention, and then telling everybody else that nobody's allowed to do that? That it's stealing if somebody does the same idea as you. Meaning, you put a cool little panel in, or you do some cool little effect, and that's like your signature move. And then you see other people do it, and you say, "You're not allowed to do that. That's my move." I didn't mean to bias your response by saying it with a stupid voice, but obviously that's what I think. So what think we of that, gentlemen? Is your idea your property? You're gonna patent a thing that says, you can't put that universal part into that universal application and do it because I did it first. It's me. It's all me. I should have probably heated this one a little bit more. Yeah, so as it is, this thing is gonna go in the oven. Got a good nice start. I want to make sure that it's absolutely clamped all the way down. There's no real issue with putting these things in the oven, even though I didn't put the other one in the oven, but I only heated this backing for about 5 minutes. I think the last one I probably heated for like 15 or 20. So in the interest of finishing strong, let's throw this thing in the oven. I'll give it maybe, I don't know, maybe another 5 minutes of cooking. Give me 3 minutes, maybe even 4. Hey Siri, set the timer for 4 minutes. Oh.
Your timer is set for 4 minutes.
All right, DJ Boom, what up? So what do you think? Is it your idea? want to listen to music with you guys. Is there music? There's no music. So yeah, I mean this whole idea of you can't do that, I did it first. I really have this feeling of like, man, that sounds like schoolyard stuff. Does it not? Seems that way to me. It's a modification of existing. Okay, if it's a modification of existing, tough. If you create something new and unique, then you should have IP or copyright. Greatest form of flattery is when others copy you. That's what I think. Dan Reese, I understand it, and don't get me wrong. I think, by all means, there are very common ideas out there that I don't believe in, that are like what most people think. So, for example, things that are like, if you teach somebody how to do this stuff, 9 out of 10 people are going to say this. I don't understand though. If you teach somebody how to do the thing that you do, doesn't that create competition? I wish I had like that, like zoom in look, like, oh no, competition. No, it creates a friend. It creates like a, I don't know, like this awesome connection between you and another action taker. They did the thing that you did, and man, does it feel good when you actually put the information out there to help somebody, and then they go do the thing, and then they share that thing back with you, and like, thanks, because of you, I did XYZ. So much better than a guy being like, check me out, bro. I did this. I'm dope. And then another guy's like, hey, I did that same thing too. And he's like, no, man, that's my thing. You copied me. Like, what a loser. What a freaking loser. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. Davis Lee, what up? And I don't mean, well, maybe he's a loser. I don't know, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just got a loser mentality of like, you can't do that. That's my thing. I have a red shirt on. You can't have a red shirt on. I'm gonna tell everybody Jimmy copied me because I have a red shirt and he wants to be like me, so now Johnny has a red shirt. Really? Really? Is that what? Man, I don't know. I have a really tough time with that. And the bigger thing that I have a hard time with is, you guys, you didn't design a rocket. You like took a little bulb or a little piece of plastic, you made it like, you put a little image on there, or you did, I don't know, something that another guy can do. He could probably do it better. Kind of like the fighting mentality, right? The guy that thinks he can beat everybody up. Like, there will absolutely be a day where guy comes upon somebody bigger and stronger and a better fighter, or maybe he's smaller and just a better fighter. I don't know. At some point, you're gonna get your stuff's gonna happen. So there's this other mentality. So there's one mentality that I firmly disagree with, which is, if you teach somebody something, then they're gonna screw you over by doing it. Now, if it's your employee and he rolls through and you teach him all this stuff, and then he turns around and moves next door and starts competing with you, like, that's not a fun thing. It's not a good thing. But at the same token, like, there's nothing from stopping that guy from doing that anyway. Because if you learned how to do something, unless it is rocket science, he could probably learn how to do the same thing. And if he's really gonna go do it, you're really not gonna be able to stop him. True story. Hold that thought. I'll tell you about another thing I absolutely disagree with, mindset-wise, coming up. Oh, hot. Hot is good. Forgot my gloves. Chris needs a sponsor. He needs Gorilla Grip gloves to be his sponsor, but not by giving me gloves, by giving me money. Give me money. Watch my show. Give me dollars. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, gentlemans. Okay. So the idea is I want to start in the middle, work my way out. Ooh, I love that this GoPro isn't so far down where like the light housing is out of the frame right here right now. Hey guys, you can never do GTR taillights, because if you do, then you're copying me. You can't copy me. Don't do it. That was my idea first. I'm telling. I did it before you did, Jimmy. I have a patent. I have a patent. I think you did it exactly like I did. You can't do... Oh, you did one thing different? Oh, never mind. My patent doesn't work. Never mind. It sure was expensive, though. This is 1987, isn't it? Isn't that how you get rich? Have a good idea? Pay so that nobody else can have that idea? Oh, it's not? It's not 87? It's a year where you can have things made anywhere on the freaking planet, make a tiny little change, and then it's yours. So you actually just need to be good at things and keep good ideas coming? Oh, is that what you're saying? You can't just do one thing once, kick back, fold your hands, kick up your feet, and watch the world tell you how awesome you are because one day you had a good idea and you did something about it, and meanwhile other people are coming up with good ideas every day and sharing them. Oh yeah, for free. We're not in that world anymore? I was unaware. Guess what I'm going to talk about next, boys? It's that your grandpa's advice about getting a patent doesn't work anymore. And I don't think that you should go jack people's stuff or anything either. I think you just keep coming out with good ideas over and over again, and then market those ideas. Get it in front of a lot of people. Let the market decide who's the winner. That's what I think should happen. Or maybe there's 3 winners. Maybe the pie is so big. Maybe there's so much abundance out there. Maybe there's not much to complain about. Maybe you should just work hard and do good things and help people. And that should be enough for you. Maybe you shouldn't just be the only one. I'm the only one. It was my idea. My shirt was red first. Davis Lee says, I'm watching your channel to learn and try to make my own custom headlamp. Bow! You will accomplish that, my man. DJ Boom says, oh, so pumped about the ideas and styles. Me too, man. I've been loving watching you guys come up with all these files and all that. We got Tim's stuff in here, and it's so good. It just melted my connector. No! Ultrasonic cutter time. Using XK Chrome connectors to make it easy to hook up my Ghost module was my idea, Jimmy. You're not allowed to do that. music is making it feel like what I'm doing is important. It's really not. Come on, man. Totally melted my connector. Freaking jerk. You know what? I quit. I'm out of here. Kidding. Get me another connector. There we go. See? Things could be worse. So stoked on my dude's headlights right now, though. I really am. You suck, bastard. Wow. It's super calm in here now. Slush HD in the house. Looking at his headlights on YouTube Live. Yes. Now I actually do feel a little bit of pressure. Richard, I'm so glad you're here, dude, because we are going to choose your show modes and package these things up. I wanted to seal them. I did. Family did not want me to seal them. I've sealed them now. Now we choose our show modes and ship them. Whew. Turn music back on. Got entirely too serious in here just now. Ready? That's good. All right. We got ground, power, animation. And then let's turn them off to sync them up. Drink some coffee. Brake light, parking light. Ba-ba-bow. We're gonna change that for sure. Not because I don't like it, but because it needs to be a little bit more striking. Not to mention that there is a completely separate mode that I don't have hooked up in here at the moment. I have to fish around for that wire. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, so check this out. We got inner LEDs too. Wow, wow. See them? They're in there. I can see clearly now. In there. So we can hook these things up. This is going to be a cool. This is going to be hooked up to a relay. It's also going to be hooked up to an external source. So if we want, we can power it through other cool stuff later. Whoa. Song. I keep not getting to listen to them. Okay. Sounds like a movie trailer. I know, it did, huh? All right, let's do some programming. Sound good? So this is what I want to change. I'll show you real quick. I want to change the fact that right now when we step on the brake, this happens. I just want it to be a little bit more like bow bow bow, like 3 strikes and then chill. Because if we look at what's actually happening here, that's what's happening with brakes. It's beautiful, but it's probably better suited for like a show mode or something else. All right, and then show mode 1. So good. I think that's show mode 1. So imagine that, right? While that's doing its thing, you're also seeing this. Pow, 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 pow. Look at that back one. See how it's got the little strobe action? Or this one. Pow, 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 pow. So what if it's like strobing back and forth? That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. So these will be hooked up to a relay that only kicks on when you step on the brakes. So you like step on the brake and it'll kind of do this. Let's turn those off. Okay, it'll go like this. Brake. Brake. See? As opposed to brake. Brake. Oops. Didn't touch it. Oh, whoops. Brake. Yeah. And guess what we haven't done this whole time? Haven't played with our turn signal. Let's do it. Richard, this is where I need you big time. You gotta tell me. You're gonna be like, nah. Let's do something else with that. We could also do something like, I kind of don't want to though for the turn signal because it'll get so much action, but we could always do something later where the inner guys flash too with the turn signal with like a diode tailless turn module. That could work. I don't know. Got our options. I think the tailless turn module idea is pretty freaking cool because you could reverse it later. Be like, I like it, I don't like it. So you could have it like the inner guys flashing, right? And then the outer guys are flashing too. So it would be, that would be happening. Okay, let me change gears here. We've got multiple different setups that we can do for the turn signals. So I want to get into code. If you are down, let's nerd out. Because then we're going to have some show modes on Sequential Squad. So that will be downloadable. Those of you guys that don't know, this is where I talk about it. I look over there, I read your comments. DJ Boom says, glad to hear that, man. He looks like he's pumped. I'm glad. I am glad for sure. All right. So we're going to get into code now. And if you aren't messing with the code in Squad, I just put up 6 new modules from what I filmed yesterday after the stream. So I guess kind of the overall look at it was I was trying to do something very difficult. I was burning out in my brain. I stopped the stream. I came back. I figured it out. I recorded it. I posted it all up. It's good. It's there now. Sean Paymer, can you approve me on Facebook later after the stream? No. I could do it right. Meow. Right meow, Sean Paymer. Let's go. Facebook. Where you at though? Find it. And then we're gonna do some coding. Alright. Here we go. Hello, squad. I've kind of been kicking around this idea. We got 144 members, and it grows every day. As it grows, something that concerns me is that there are a lot of people that are requesting membership, and when they do, they don't fill out the questions, and I don't know what the deal is with that. Is it truly them not answering the questions, or is it just that somebody invites them and they haven't had a chance to yet? In any case, I boot them every time, especially if they answer one but not the other. Then I always boot them and I don't feel bad. But it's the guys that they don't do it. So how about this, Sean Paymer? If you're down, do the Facebook request again, and because it says that there's no pending members right now, but it did say that there was some new automatic members, so let's see if you're potentially on that list. This is an interesting thing, and then I'll look through a couple. So yeah, I mean, look, we got May. A lot of these guys, see, it says like, no, I'm not in Squad yet, but I agree. And then there's a couple of them that have been, like this one says no, but I'm about to, and then it says, do you agree not to be a dick? And it says no response. So I'm like, how did he get in? Because I would have booted him. I'm not going to though. But I don't know. I hate the thought of these groups being so watered down by people that don't belong in them. People that don't want to be there. So, got a lot of cool stuff. A lot of you guys have been posting up. I try to actually be a little bit active in this, more so than I have been for a bit. Sucks, my buddy Eric's Supra got bashed in LA the other night when he came out to his car after work, There it is. Anyway, I love talking with you guys in there. So let's hop over to our sequence designer. And you know what we don't have for this? Do a big old call out right now. We do not have a GLC file for a 23 channel GTR taillight ghost file. It's going to be a very difficult one to make. I don't even know how you're going to make it, to be honest. Let me see. Where's my other one? Is that it? There we go. Okay, so look, sketchy thing is the lower or the smaller ring of the two rings on the one that I'll show you right here, that one has 12 channels, right? Ooh, I guess there's some other thing too that I can get so that, like, I can draw on the screen. That's gonna be fun to do soon, maybe tomorrow. This has 12 dots, right? But on the outside ring, there's an outer path as well, so this one will actually have to be smaller. There's 18 LEDs, 18 of them, right? And then on the outer one, on the big side, there's 24 LEDs. So if we want to represent the file correctly to really see how this looks, we really need to have a GLC file. So here's the problem. When we look at the actual board itself, the wiring for it is bonkers. So we really do need to understand like what's doing what. I'm gonna try to open up one of those files right now and see if maybe I'm totally stupid and maybe we already do have one of these files in the system. I'm gonna check it out. Because it's freaking difficult to understand when you wire it. I'm just grateful that I've got these ones wired up and I have some diagrams. Okay, ghost files, GLP, GTR, 2015 tails. Yeah, and so this one says outer. We got outer from Vincent V2. We've got some other cool stuff to show. So let's see if this shows anything. Okay, cool. So we've got this wonky GLC. That's fine though. At least you can tell what's happening. So this is Vincent's file from a while back. What we can do is check out what his animations look like. And so let's see, that's a show mode. And then we've got this one that does this as well. It's kind of Pac-Manning on there. So yeah, I don't even know. I kind of need to like run through all of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and compile this one right now and we're gonna compare side by side. I'm gonna do the one closest to me first. We're gonna compare the files because I have one that says this one's Tim's. Actually, let's open up his actual file that he sent over. Let's see. This file live stream Tim. And where are we at? 23 channel, should say GTR taillight. Oh, there's one that says outer. There we go. GTR tails outer. Okay, so here is what our file looks like that's currently on there. You can tell because you see this animation right there. And check it out. If I show on the remote, this is under show 1. So that's not it. Look at that. So that's Tim's file. We'd see on the screen what the animation looks like, step by step. And then there it is in person. So dope. I love that we could do this. This is my favorite time. So Tim says, I thought we used one the first time we messed with the 2015 tails. 2015 files should have it on there. Same GLC as Vincent used. Yeah. So it just automatically had it on there. I was confused about if it did or didn't. In any case, now, I mean, probably not worth correcting those and moving them around much. You can, but I think this gives us what we needed. I just wasn't sure about it. Man, that zaps the energy out of my freaking life. All right, let's check out show 2 and show Tim's. So lots of individual little guys bouncing back and forth. I love that it's wigwagging. I mean, you made this thing weeks ago. Wig wag, wig wag, wig wag. That's not doing it side to side, which it could, but damn, that sounds very complicated in my brain. I love seeing these files though. So look as it builds up. I wish that the display was instant though, because look, it just like kind of chills. Like, bro, calm down over there with your keyboard. Click, 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 click. Doesn't show. So yeah, we got a lot of files. What do we got? 186. Pretty cool though. Look at those last steps. Looks like some Louis Vuitton pattern or something. Pretty dope. Okay. So I made the hex file on Vincent's. Let's turn off all of our modes. And then I'm gonna hook up this guy back to the sequencer. We are going to upload this file just to see the difference between the two. All right, Vincent versus Tim showdown in real time. Failed to freaking program the device. Well, I feel stupid. What did I do wrong? I don't think I did anything wrong. Target removed. Faces removed. Sorry, you couldn't see the things that I saw. I was seeing those things. Ready. Benchtop view. Right. Wow. It's like Vincent's file. Massive. So look, one versus the other. Interesting. This is Vincent. Vincent's is going nuts. Bouncing around. I remember I liked that one where one kind of does the Pac-Man thing and like comes to life while the other one's going away. So weird. Boom. That's dope. I like that. Okay, now we're gonna do show mode 2. Vincent has the stacking, the old school stacking one. It's not even old school. It's just such like a traditional animation. What do you guys think about what you're looking at? Tim's all, yay, I win. His wouldn't load. Yeah. If only things were that easy. All right, and then we got turn signal. No, that's brake light. My bad. Okay, let's check out parking light. So cool seeing the tiny little differences. Look at where Tim starts versus where Vincent starts. The ends for Tim, I like that. That's dope. And then just the middle for Vincent. Very cool to see this difference. And then here's our brake light. So we got triple flashies. Oh, Mr. J says, I added Sean Paymer already. Laugh out loud beat ya. If you guys don't know, I got myself an admin, and his name is Jason Blair from Sinister Retro Works. See? Very cool. Happy to have you, Sean Paymer. So, that's what we got for now. Let's see what other files we got. I know I got more. Let's see some show mode action while that's happening, while I'm digging. We've got Tim's. So let's look now. So one thing that I need to redo is go through and look at Vincent's files and make sure that they're named with him on them. If that makes sense. My drive. I'm gonna do a little extended session later with my dude Slush HD so that we can make sure that we have that on there. It's just going to be us kind of picking his animations. That's going to be a member only live stream in just a bit here. I got more work to do before I can do that. I want to have the full wire harness dialed before that. but I'll hop back on here in a bit. So those of you guys that are members, you'll be able to watch that too. Not baiting you to become a member if you're not, but I would say we got a fair amount of members in here, so we're sitting pretty on it. All right, ghost files. Let's say GLP, GTR, 2015 Tails, and then we've got a couple different things in here. So what I used to do is, you could tell if you're looking at my files, you could see that this one says as a new turn signal. It's a switchback. I used to name the GLP files after the different GLS parts inside, so there'd be a cool sequence in there, and I would name the thing after that, as opposed to just having a whole library of GLS files, which is why this whole idea of Sequential Squad really came about, because I was like, there's got to be a better way. So let's see. Let's just check out what these new turn signal animations look like. I think this one, if I'm right, I do believe this file should have a turn signal mode that's much different. Now, we haven't checked those on our existing file, so before I change it up, let's check our turn signals. Okay, so here is turn signal on Vincent's. Standard old school snake style. You damn dirty snake. Tim's. Same file. Ooh, actually it's not. His doesn't trail after it. Very cool. I love that we have two different things to look at. So this one fills up and then turns off. So I'm just tapping it until it adjusts to the speed I'm doing it at. So there's not much of an off on Tim's turn signal, which I actually like a lot. And if we look at Vincent's, he's got more of a trailing effect after. So it actually isn't as bright as Tim's, because at any given time, pretty much only one ring can be fully lit, not both at the same time, which makes Tim's about twice as bright overall, which means much more noticeable. So I'm going to load this file up onto Tim's now. So we'll get to check out a completely different look eventually once I find the chord. All right, let me compile this guy real quick. We'll check it out. Yeah, so already we have 3 different turn signal files all at once. Crazy. I remember making the first ones took us 8 months when we did these. Now we got all these different files just chilling. So good. Programming. Work, buddy. DJ Boom says, I dropped the file on Discord. Just drop it in Squad, bro. Do it. Do it. Here's what we got. Show mode 1. Which is this one. That's the new one. So that's just like blinky crazy action. Alright. Show mode 2. Wow. Not exactly super creative. This is my file, by the way, this one. Here's brake light. Okay, so we share the same brake light, me and Vincent. Share the same parking light on. I'm glad we get to show that on both lights. Looks cool. Parking light on, brake light on. Very traditional, very chill. Okay, turn signal. This is the one that I'm excited about. This one. Boom. It's unzip. On, and then it sequentially goes away. I dig that a lot. And let's see what it looks like if we have on parking lights while we do our turn signals. We haven't tested that yet. So imagine that at night. Parking lights shut off. Very dramatic. On this one, same thing. Lights shut off. So this is Vincent's old one. We could change that. We could keep the running light on while those animations get bright and go across, but yeah. DJ Boom, if you're not in squad, man, you gotta get in there. Are you not in squad? We got the link right under the video, and then you'll be in the online course group, which is different than the Facebook group, even though it's the same people. It's just twice as big. Okay, so we've got our turn signals laid out for my man there, and I guess with the exception of making one quick change, which I'd like to do just to kind of demo this for you guys. Let's change this from simple switchback to non-switchback. Actually, I think I already have that file. I don't know why I saved it, but I'll just open that file, do it that way. Then I'm going to change this one at all. Okay, so this says non-switchback. Compile that. And then we'll load it, and that will make up the end of the stream, boys. Here we go. Oops. I absolutely already had that one on. Browse for the new one. Non-switchback. Okay, now a program. Okay, so what's going to happen differently is, unlike this guy, that when the parking lights are on, look what happens. Parking lights shut off. It does the animation, right? But now look at this one, what's going to happen. Parking lights will stay on. What do you think looks better? You in chat. You guys who are doing other things right now. What do you think looks better? If you're driving and you see the car in front of you on the road, has its turn signal on, it's doing that, versus he's got his turn signal on and his parking lights are shutting off and doing that, and then parking light pops back on. Ooh, that one's even got an animation too. So that's animated switchback. The other is non-switchback, and then the one that was on there prior was simple switchback, which would basically do the same thing as this, just no animation when it comes back. It would just pop back on. What do you like more? Both are good. Thank you, Corso Motion. Dave says left one. That would be this guy. So that one is the switchback style. Tim says, must return to my daily grind. I'll see you tomorrow, Tim. The back one is this one. That's what you're saying, Adam? Cool. So Dave and Adam like this one. John likes this one. So it sounds like you guys are into the switchback look for brake light. Cool. Or turn signal, I guess, not brake light. Ooh, and Sinister even one-ups it by saying animated. Animation is good. Sweet. All right. Well, boys, that's it. We sealed a light on the stream. That was cool. I hope that's of any value to you. If you have to do any style lights, I will say all JDM icon vehicles, like 90s JDM stuff, they seal like this. They have really crusty old butyl, but you don't got to remove it. Not really. If it's like gross and like crumbly, yeah, but for the most part, you just add extra butyl to it. So there's that. Most taillights, though, you actually have to plastic weld anchors around it. So I talk about it in some of the stuff that I've put out, some of the older videos. But you basically take the lens that has been cut at some point from the back, like from the main backing of the unit, and then you're gonna just plastic weld a couple little anchors, like let's say a minimum of 4, sometimes 5's better, just for strength, because it's actually holding the thing in place. It cannot move, it can't wiggle, even though it's got like non-setup sealant in there. Then after you've like basically melted plastic on plastic or plastic welded it in those anchor points, Then you can add in your sealant. You just smooth it through, make sure it's going down into the crack, and just make sure that it's like doing its job, but it's not holding it together. The anchors are holding it together. The sealant is reinforcing those anchors and it's sealing it. That's what's up. Sinister says, have you tried the Diode Dynamics butyl yet? I have not. I haven't. I've tried the main brand. I think there's like 4 or 5 different types of different butyl, of different consistencies, different thicknesses of the rolls, and different, I mean, is it viscosity when it's glue? I don't know if that's the right, but it's like the thickness of how strong it actually is. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting different sealant types out there. What I would love would be something that is very specific for sealing taillights, and there's not anything good out there. There's literally nothing that I've found. I wish that there was something that was like almost like what they use like in Dynamat, where it's like a roll that you can just push into place, and it can get down into the cracks and seal it, but it's legit. Like you would have to have it almost like heated up, or like put it on there and then apply all the heat and then like really get down on it, but it not be filthy ugly. Which, by the way, that's not even a thing. It's all so ugly. And that would actually, you run into some fitment issues, because sometimes they wouldn't go back on the car, because anything big, bulky, especially on taillights, is going to mess with mounting. So, it sucks, man. Sealing taillights is hard. Don't build custom taillights for people unless you really account for it taking twice as long as headlights. That's all that there is to it. It's just hard. Okay, boys, I will be back on for members later, live. We're going to work with Slush HD, choosing his options here. I'm going to load up a few of those. Yeah, I get that viscosity is about fluid for sure, but it's kind of the same deal, because when you heat up different types of butyl, it's going to, like I have a butyl machine, right? So I have to make adjustments to it. There's the same amount of pressure, the same amount of heat, but different thicknesses of butyl are going to come out at a different rate. So kind of the same idea applies. Doesn't really matter. I don't think anybody cares. not about what I'm talking about anyway. So there's that. But I will be back on tomorrow. We're going to talk about this guy, this little beauty. We're going to do some hitting of microphones, but we're going to talk a little bit more about quad hands, working with all these crazy different things, having solder and all that stuff. Like, this is like art to me. I love this. Just looking at this thing. So Sinister, I love you, man. You're the best. Thank you for sending this. Talk more tomorrow. Questions, post them in the comment section here on this video. If there's anything I didn't answer, be in the Facebook group, be on the online course so you can learn how to do all this stuff, take part in the competition. These lights are not part of the competition because they're a little bit more advanced. They have too many moving parts. It's a little confusing, but there's a 6-part series that I did load up last night that is the older style GTR taillights, so that you should definitely consume. Get in there, use it, turn out awesome parts, and potentially win a bunch of stuff. It should be cool. All right. John Paul says, thank you for the masterclass, Chris. You are very welcome, John Paul. Thank you for sharing your child with the group as she does cool things with ghost modules and watching the videos. My boy saw that picture and was like, that's so cool to see a picture that somebody else took of them watching you, Dad. So thanks for that. Earned me some kid points. Bow. All right, my friends. I will catch you tomorrow morning, and again, those of you, I don't have an exact time, you know, common Chris fashion, but I will be streaming a bit later. I'll do an announcement in the Facebook group, and we'll go live again for members. All right? Peace out, guys. Be safe. Take care of your families. See you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Later.